Hey guys, I just wanted to show you really quick my Lightroom workflow. Basically what I do in my import is I'll go up and choose my camera and then uncheck everything if I only wanted to import a partial what's on here. So right now I'm just going to click these photos of my son. This was an off-camera flash light test, just trying to mess around with exposure and trying to figure this out. So anyway, I'll select all of these and put a check mark in a box, which then checks them all. And then what I want to do is keyword them. So I'm going to add a keyword of his name, Isaiah, and then I'm going to maybe keyword light test. Maybe I'll keyword off camera flash. Okay, so now what I have a choice to do is I can add them to a collection, or I don't have to. So why would I add them to a collection? Well, let's just say that this was a client that I was shooting headshots for, and I want to be able to come work on these images. Instead of having to search for this client's file in my folder system on my computer hard drive, and by that I'd have to remember the date that they were taken or something, I can just start a collection. So say I only had time to import and work on one or two photos today, but I'm going to come back later tonight or tomorrow, I can just go straight to my collection and look for, whatever I've named this collection. So let's just do an add to collection. I can pick a collection that I've already started in here, or I can start a new collection. So let's just start a new collection. Click the plus sign and let's name this new collection. So I'll call this off camera flash practice. Alright, so I'll do create. So now that's going to pop up in my collections, and I'll go ahead and import these images. Okay. Okay, I paused it while it was importing. So now what my Lightroom is doing is it's building standard previews for each of these images. So normally I would wait until those previews are all done before I would start doing my culling, just so that it doesn't take as long for them to go from an out of focused image to that snap that it normally does to say, hey, this picture is in focus. So look at our status bar, and we're pretty much almost done here. So what I do next is do a culling through the images. So basically what I'm going to do is look at my pictures as a whole in this grid mode, but the images are too small. So what I may want to do, I have two different ways of culling, is I may want to hit the F key, and that makes, oops, it's telling me it's finished. Alright, come on. F means full frame. Why is it not working? There. I don't know why that was not working. I just hit the F key and it gives me a full screen view mode. And so what I would do is go through picture by picture and hit the P on the keyboard, meaning pick, or the U on the keyboard, meaning unpick. Now I have my computer set up in the preferences that when I click pick or unpick, it's going to advance the picture to the next slide. So this one I may say, nope, that's boring, so I'll hit U and it'll move on to the next picture. And then I may say, yeah, possibly this one, so I'll pick it. This one I'm going to say U for unpick. This one, let's say I say pick on that one, and then I have this one, and I'm like, do I go to my arrow key? Did I really want this one, or do I want this one? And if I'm not really sure which one that I want, I'm going to go back to the grid mode. I'm going to hit G, and then I'm going to select these two pictures right here. Let's say I want to look at these three pictures because they're all the same, let's say. So I'll select those three pictures and I'll hit N like a Nancy, an N on my keyboard, and that takes us into the compare mode. So now I can look at all three pictures and say, do I want to keep this one? Do I want to keep this one? Or perhaps it's this one. So I can see them all on my screen at the same time instead of going back and forth and seeing one at a time. So actually I really like this bottom one. So I'm going to select it and hit pick, P, or I can just go down to the corner and hit this little white flag. This one I'm going to continue it to be an unpick, so I'm not going to do anything. And then this one already has pick. I don't want it anymore, so I'm just going to hit unpick, and it took that little white flag away. So then I can go back to my grid mode, hitting this right here, grid view, or just hit G. Then I might continue to go through and look at my images and see if I want the actual image to work on. So I'll just go through and pick and unpick a few things so that we can have something to work on. Okay, and again, these are just playing around with my camera. Okay, so don't like that one. So now I've done some picks and unpicks, and you can see the little white flags. That means those are picks. So what I want to do is do global adjustments in my Lightroom program. So I'm going to go up here to Attribute, and I'm going to sort by the images that I've put the white flags or the picks. So I'm just going to hit this white flag right here, and it's going to eliminate everything that was an unpick and just show me the images that are my picks. So once I have these together, I go up to the Develop module, and I start to edit these images to see if there's anything that needs to be done to them. So this is just global. Here, I'm just going to work on exposure and maybe some white balance, things like that, just to get these images at a good starting place on where I want to start with them. So I know this is a flash, so maybe even start there. So that's all I would do in here. I won't take the time to edit these pictures. I assume you all know what you're doing in editing your photos. So once I get this to some place that I want it, and I decide, okay, I need to take out this acne, I know I can go up here and use the spot removal tool, but a lot of times there's more than acne that I want to do, so I'll take it into Photoshop. So I can click anywhere on this. I'm just going to right click, edit in, Photoshop. So Lightroom basically is throwing the image over to Photoshop. That was one I had worked on before. I'm going to close that. And so this is the image we were looking at. And now I can go ahead and go in here and make my detail corrections and do anything that needs to be done. Now, when Lightroom throws this over to Photoshop, it is a TIFF file, so it has a lot of information with it. So it's not a JPEG. It's not really raw, but it is. It's a raw file that's a TIFF now. TIFF just means a really, really, really big file that has a lot of information. It's still holding a lot of those things from raw. Okay, so we've done that. Let's say I've done some adjusting to his eyes and done whatever. I've done all my small little detail edits and I'm finished. So what I want to do as the next step is I want to toss this image back over to Lightroom. So I'm going to flatten this image. I may go to Layer, Flatten, or I can just right click on this layer and hit Flatten. Then I'm just going to go up and hit the Save button. Not Save As, just Save. So what Save is doing is it's just throwing this image back over to Lightroom for me. So this image is already saved. I can close or minimize. And now when I look down in my tray here, I see I have two of these images. So the one that's highlighted, I'm just going to hit 5 and make that one a 5-star. So let's say that I take something else over to Photoshop, just for the sake of having a couple of images here, and I'm going to do some work on this image, and kind of same deal. Let's take a lot of this junk off his face. Whatever I've done, let's say I'm finished with this, and then I'm going to go up and again just hit save. Not save as, you don't have to name it, you don't have to do anything. It's just taking this TIFF file and throwing it back over to Lightroom. So I'm going to go back over to Lightroom, the one that's already highlighted. I've not clicked on anything. I'm just going to tell it 5 stars. Now, let's say that I've gone through each of these images and done the global edit in Lightroom. I've done the Photoshop edit over in Photoshop, thrown them back over here. And so basically every other photo will have a 5-star next to it. So I go back and sort by attribute. Oops, you got to go to the library mode. Attribute, and then I'm going to tell it 5-star. So now I have my 5-star images, the ones that have been edited. Highlight them, and then I'm going to export them out and make send them out as JPEGs so that I can upload them somewhere. So I have different presets that send things to different places, just so that this just makes everything fast and easy for me. So let's just say I'm making a pixie set resolution, and I'm going to choose the folder. So I'll just go to 2015 clients, and I think I'm going to start a new folder. Well, I'm going to put this in Isaiah. I'm going to put this in the folder Isaiah. Select folder. It's going to put it into a subfolder called Pixie Set. Got my file size already ready. Everything's good to go because I already created it as a preset, and I'm going to export. Okay, so if we went over to that file, we would find those pictures, and then they're ready to go onto Pixie Set. So now once my clients have ordered their pictures, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that file. So here's the file right here, Isaiah, which it has a lot of images of my son from me playing around and testing. And I'm going to, I need the subfolder of Pixie Set. Oh, I hate when things don't work out. It should be in there, but it's not. So, okay. So let's right click, and we can do synchronize folder. It's going to tell me, oh, there's 57 pictures that aren't in this folder. So I could just tell it to go ahead and synchronize and put those 57 in. You can hit show import dialog before importing. That's usually not checked, but I'm going to check it. And so basically what that's going to do is it's going to go explore that folder, and it's going to show me all the photos that should be in there that aren't in there. So if I go down to the bottom, I go, oh hey, look, here's the new ones I just worked on. So if I just hit uncheck all, and I just grab those 2 that I've just worked on, and then I can just tell it to import those in. And now if I go back over to that 2015 client, Isaiah, Pixie Set, boom, there they are. So now let's say I want to move these folders because the client's already ordered these. So I have choices. I have external hard drives down here that you can see in the panel. So this external hard drive right here is full, so I can't put anything more in there. But I've got some room to go in here. So I can just grab this Pixie Set file and just drag it straight down. Okay, don't let go of it. And I can put it in a folder down here. You already have to have a folder, but I can just pop it into a folder. I really don't want to put it in 2014 pictures, but we'll just say that that's where it's going to go. So this is saying, oh hey, you can't just hit undo and undo what you're doing. We're actually going to move this folder. So I can go ahead and say, yeah, I know, I mean to do this, and I'll just say move. Okay, so now if I go over to my navigator and I look in my external hard drive here, I see here's a folder called Pixie Set. Guess what's there? Isaiah's pictures. So imagine that file was the full file of the client's name with my subcategories of like my raw files, my edited files, my Pixie Set files, and then their orders or something. I would have moved that master file, but for the sake of this demo, I just moved this small file because I didn't want to move anything for real right now. So you'll notice if we go back up to our folder, okay, and we look down where Isaiah's original folder was, that Pixie Set one's gone. Okay, it's not on my hard drive anymore. It now lives on the external hard drive, and that's as easy as it is. You just grab that file. I'll just grab this one. It only has one picture in it. I just grab this file, move straight down, go put it in an external hard drive. Okay, just pick the folder that you want. Your external hard drive might be already set up with you know, however you want to set it up. So it's as easy as that. Okay, guys? If you have any questions, just let me know.